my wife and I have lived in the United States for over 2 decades. But at home, we frequently eat Chinese food and use chopsticks. Then we also teach our son how to use chopsticks. Then I can see that my son has some difficulties using the utensil properly. And then his experience, in a way, reminded of my own. I also wrote that into my book. That I remember when I was like 5 years old, maybe 6 years old, my mother actually sat me down one afternoon teaching me how to use chopsticks. And I remember the afternoon was very long. It was a long afternoon. So I sort of, then I tried to look for if there's any kind of manuals or instructions written on the use of chopsticks. Then that interest, that curiosity led me to do some research. Then I found that, to my surprise, nothing essentially written, in English at least, on anything about chopsticks. From the early 20th century, archaeologists began to do some digs in Asian mainland, and they found some bone-made sticks from Neolithic times. And then in 1993, one archaeological team from the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences went to a northern part of the Jiangsu province called Longqiuzhuang, and they found about 48. That's an even number. That's very important in a way. Even number, 48 bone sticks. And then the team actually ruled for the first time that those sticks, bone-made, were used for eating. So some scholars will say that those could be the earliest chopsticks. If that was true, then it would be like 7,000 years ago. In my own research, I found that if they were those bone-made sticks for eating, but may not be exclusively for eating, they could be doing some other things like arrange the fire or for cooking and so on. Just like chopsticks do today. People use chopsticks as a kitchen tool as well. So I would say then gradually might be a transition from a kitchen tool to an eating tool. But that transition, according to my research, it took like several thousand years. So it was not until the 4th century BC, then I would say it became kind of popular among the people in China to use chopsticks to carry food. So then another 1,000 years later, then the chopsticks cultural kind of a sphere or zone became formed. At least among the Asians, to eat noodles, chopsticks are the best tool because spoon cannot do the work. So I think that's one thing. And the other thing would be, the other type of food would be those hot pot, particularly the mutton hot pot, which was, I think, invented by the Mongols, but then populated by the Manchus in the Qing dynasty. And when they founded the Qing dynasty, they also used the Mongol forces. So it could be those garrison forces of the Mongol army began eating this type of food, and it gradually spread in North China. But nowadays it became even popular, I think, throughout the Asian mainland. You have different forms of hot pots in Korea, in Japan, and so on. And then eating hot pot, particularly like in the Chinese city of Chongqing, the restaurants specializing in hot pot would actually give longer kind of chopsticks to customers, to facilitate the transportation, because they began to, they always share the food in the middle, so it would be a little bit easier for them to do so. So that's in a way, combined the factors that the other example, more recent example, would be the global appeal of sushi, right? Nowadays, it's like if you buy sushi, even in supermarket, they will give you a pair of chopsticks. That is again. But then the Japanese food in general require the use of chopsticks. But one particular food, which is called bento box meals, which became very popular in modern times when people take this bento box lunch to companies to schools and so on. But the bento box are kind of portable, but because they are portable, they wanted to use a little bit shorter chopsticks. So the popularity of bento box meals, in a way, also affect the design, the shape, the length of chopsticks.